how road maintenance in Pullman might affect your commute. Our live reporter gives you an update.
And today, Renton police arrest a homicide suspect.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Jake Knight.
And I'm Alex Catanzaro. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Road maintenance will be in full swing this week on primary Pullman roadways, including Grand Avenue and Bishop Boulevard, along with less traveled areas like Kamiakin Street. Reporter Ava Wainhouse is live on the scene. Ava, can you tell us more about these closures?
Thanks, Jake. So here at Kamiakin Street, crew members are usually hard at work filling the potholes and removing the gravel that's usually here from the snow we had last week. Usually this roadway right here is closed from 7 a.m. to the daytime hours here between Paradise and Main Street. We hope Pullman drivers here in Pullman stay safe and cautious of these road conditions and considerate of the working crew members here at the scene. This is Ava Wainhouse, Murrow News 8, back to you.
Thanks, Ava. Residents in Malden affected by last year's devastating fire can now apply for loans until April 12th. The loans are through the Small Business Administration and also include Adams, Sutton, Columbia, Franklin, and Garfield County. Interest rates could be as low as 1.18% for homeowners and renters and 3% for businesses. Homeowners can receive up to $200,000 and business owners up to $2 million.
A WSU saxophonist is rising up the music charts. According to WSU Insider, Greg Yazininski's album Yaz Band New Normal is rising on the Jazz Week 300 chart. Yazininski spent nearly 20 years making a birthday song mix for his daughter to gain experience. He says the birthday mix helped him prepare for his record to record his jazz album completely remote. Instead of the normal big band style, the album is arranged so it could be played by a small number of performers.
The Pacific Northwest Leadership Conference will be held this Saturday. The conference is led by WSU students. ASWSU and Leadership Advisor Ashley Morehouse spoke to the Daily Evergreen and said the conference gives students the opportunity to learn about engaging in community service, getting involved, and finding leadership opportunities. All students in the WSU system are allowed to attend. More information can be found on the WSU Student Involvement website.
There are 7 new cases of COVID-19 in Whitman County. According to Pullman Radio, all of the new patients were under the age of 40. This brings the total COVID counter up to 3,403 cases in Whitman County since the beginning of the pandemic. And on the Washington State campus, 5 new cases brings the active total case to 42.
UW Medicine has temporarily stopped scheduling first-dose COVID-19 vaccination appointments. According to Cairo 7 News, UW Medicine has temporarily paused since late January because of a lack of supply. Cynthia Dold says, quote, based on what we're seeing at the federal and state level in terms of intel around overall supply, I think we're optimistic that in March we'd be able to come off and pause and get new first dose appointments scheduled again, end quote.
A teenager was shot and killed this morning in Renton, Washington, according to King 5 News. After the 17-year-old was found in an alleyway, life-saving measures were unsuccessful. The Renton Police Department arrested the only suspect, a 41-year-old Seattle man. Authorities believe the shooting was a result of an altercation, and there is said to be no risk to the general public.
A father in Othello is now facing charges over the accidental shooting and death of his 4-year-old son. According to Othello police, they responded to the shooting this past Saturday to find the 4-year-old boy suffered a gunshot wound to the head. The 27-year-old father, Felipe Tapia Perez, was later booked into the county jail on charges of second-degree manslaughter, possession of a stolen firearm, and alien possession of a firearm.
The state of Texas lifted their mask requirements and increased the permitted capacity of all businesses to 100% today. According to the Washington Post, Texas Governor Greg Abbott lifted the restrictions while public health officials are warning that new, more transmissible variants could be taking hold. Texas now joins Mississippi as one of the few states with looser mask restrictions, with Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves lifting their state's mandate today. Coming up, which children's books are no longer being published?
Over 24 people involved in a crash in California.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1
okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Some popular children's books are being taken off the shelves. According to AP News, 6 Dr. Seuss books will no longer be published due to racist and insensitive imagery. Dr. Seuss Enterprises says, quote, "These books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong," end quote. The decision was made last year after negative feedback from audiences.
A collision between a semi-truck and an SUV has left at least 13 people dead near the U.S.-Mexico border earlier this morning. According to the LA Times, at least 25 people were in the Ford Expedition. The capacity is normally 7 to 8 passengers. According to California Highway Patrolman Jake Sanchez, the SUV was heading west on State Highway 115 and for unknown reasons swerved into the semi.
The riot at the Capitol on January 6 has FBI Director Chris Wray worried about similar attacks in the future. According to Seattle Times, Wray labeled the riot as domestic terrorism and warns of the threat of more homegrown violent extremism. Wray says since he became director in 2017, domestic terrorism investigations have doubled and white supremacist arrests have tripled.
President Biden says the U.S. expects to deliver enough COVID vaccines for adults by the end of May, 2 months earlier than expected. According to AP News, Biden also announced he would use the powers of the federal government to direct all states to prioritize vaccinating teachers and would provide the doses directly through its pharmacy program. Biden's announcement comes after the White House's announcement that vaccine distribution to all states will increase next week.
March has already brought us some brighter days. Chris, what should we expect in the forecast?
Thanks, Jake. Well, it was a really nice day in Pullman today. Sunny, and it got a high up to 54 degrees. It's 37 degrees right now, on its way to today's low, 30 degrees, with slight winds of 5 miles per hour from the northeast. Moving on to tomorrow, it's also going to be sunny with a little bit less of a high, only getting up to 51 degrees, but a little bit higher of a low with getting up, only falling to 31 degrees, but with more winds up to 9 miles an hour. Across the state, the eastern part of the state, Pullman and Spokane are in the mid-50s, still expected to get as far down as the low 30s. However, Spokane is partly cloudy, not the full sunshine that we have in Pullman. Moving on to the middle of the state, Tri-Cities is the warmest temperatures you'll see, getting all the way up to 64 degrees, but still dropping down to 30 degrees at night. Yakima also pretty high at 59 degrees and getting to the lowest one that we'll see down to 28. Over to the west side, Seattle, the lowest high on our map, at only getting up to 49 degrees and falling to 37 degrees at night with partly cloudy, but the sun peeking through more throughout the day. In Olympia, the high is 52 with a low of 34 with the same scattered sunshine. And moving on to our 5cast, it's looking pretty good. Sunny and pretty moderate temperatures moving throughout the week until we get to Saturday, where the clouds will start to come in and there is a chance of snow on Saturday night, with the temperature dropping back down to 35 degrees. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Chris. How many football games can we expect to be played at Martin Stadium?
And what a new media company could mean for women in sports.
The WSU football team will be playing 6 of its first 8 games in the 2021 season at Martin Stadium.
The 2021 season, which was revealed today, features 3 home games in a row to start the season and another 3 in a row in October. The 2020 season was abridged amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The Cougs only played a single home game last season. WSU women's tennis beat U of I in the Battle of the Palouse. This is following a rough weekend in Seattle where the Cougs faced 2 consecutive losses. The Cougs sweep the doubles point with 2 quick wins from Bayerlova and Sato, as well as Jitakote and Kumhom. The singles matches also swing in the favor of the Cougs, as the final score was 6-1 in favor of WSU. Charlize Ledger-Walker of the WSU women's basketball team was named the Freshman of the Year on Monday by the Pac-12. Ledger-Walker was also placed on the All-Conference women's basketball team. She is tied for first in the league's scoring list, coming in at 19.4 points per game. She is the only freshman to ever lead the Pac-12 in scoring. Sue Bird has officially rejoined the Seattle Storm for her 18th season with the franchise. Bird decided to join Alex Morgan, Simone Manuel, and Chloe Kim as one of the founders of Together, a new media and commerce company. Together, we'll be focusing on improving coverage of women in sports. In a recent study, it was found that women receive only about 3% of the coverage that men do in sports, despite making up a significant amount of their player base. What special day is being celebrated today across America?
We'll tell you when we come back. It's National Read Across America Day, so grab your favorite book and share it with your friends and family. Jake, do you have a favorite book?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have a favorite book. I'm not the biggest reader. I like any book that could be turned into a movie. So I'm a big Hunger Games guy. I like Maze Runner. I used to like some sports books when I was a kid, but not too much of a book reader. How about yourself?
You know, I would have to say that I am the same. I haven't read a book, to be honest. I read one this summer. I felt great about myself. Haven't read a book since then. If you ask my sociology professor, that is not true. I read my book daily. I read every single night. It is my favorite textbook that I've ever read. But I'm the same with you. I'm more of a guy. If it can be turned into a movie, I'd rather do it that way.
Exactly.
Know?
Yeah. Textbooks have made me hate books. You know, I've spent so much time with my face in those textbooks. I'm done with reading books as soon as college is over.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Books and me just don't go together. It's not natural at all.
I'm right there. I'd rather just crack some popcorn, sit down, watch a good movie. Yeah. That just sounds a lot more enjoyable than sitting down and reading a book. Thanks for watching. If you missed anything, or in this or any of the previous newscasts, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel.
More news can be found at nwpd.org/MNA, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a good night.